This is Tom Menges. I'm giving another demonstration of one of my favorite things to make as a quick breakfast or dinner or whatever, buttermilk pancakes. And this is a recipe that came from our hotel and was always a guest favorite. I've got all my mise en place together here, and the ingredients that I need, and I'll have that posted on the website, are buttermilk, flour, baking soda and powder, melted butter, and eggs, and as well as some salt. So I've got everything all put together to add up very quickly. Now, something of interest with buttermilk, because not everybody has buttermilk at home, is this word called clabber. And what clabber refers to, it's a southern term, and it means that you're starting with regular milk and creating buttermilk or something the equivalent. It's real easy. You just take a tablespoon of white vinegar, and then you fill up a cup measure with milk, having the vinegar at the bottom of the milk. Stir it, let it sit a little bit, and you have the equivalent of buttermilk. But the real buttermilk's much better. So to make this, I begin by taking my buttermilk, and the recipe that I'm going to be posting makes 18 pancakes, which is a lot of pancakes, which is more than what 2 people should ever try to eat, but half of that is a nice amount of pancakes to have you nice and filled for the evening. So start with your buttermilk. Got that already pre-measured. As I said, I'm using half the recipe, and it's sort of a half that you can't cut quite precisely in half. Egg yolks. So the recipe calls for 3 eggs. I'm not doing half, I'm just going to use 2 eggs. And a teaspoon of baking soda, so I'm going to use half a teaspoon of baking soda. And these first 3 ingredients get mixed together. And use a whisk when you do this. And there you have it. The next thing to go in is the sugar. Now the full recipe calls for a tablespoon of sugar. I'm using a generous half tablespoon. So I'll dump that in next. And just stir that around a little bit more. Now I've previously combined my flour, my baking powder, and salt all together and used a sifter. This way you've sifted it so that it's all mixed up a little bit together. Dump that on in. Stir that in too. And then the last of the major ingredients is the melted butter. You pour that in because you want some oil or fat, in this case it's butter, to go into your pancake mix, just so that it won't stick to the griddle. Now separately, I've separated out the egg whites, and it's real important to keep your egg whites clean of any egg yolks, because the egg yolks contain fat, and fat does not whisk up well into the light, fully beaten egg whites that we're going to make. So I'm just going to fold the egg whites on into the pancake mix. The most important thing that the egg whites are doing is just adding a whole bunch of air to the mix, so it's going to make the pancakes really light and fluffy. So I'm trying to mix it in without destroying the egg whites. And you can see that this whole batter is much lighter than where we started. Because we personally like the flavor of it, I've taken some pecans and I've toasted them. And 350 is sort of the standard oven temperature, so I've toasted them for about 6 to 7 minutes and then chopped them up a little bit, because we really like the flavor of toasted pecans in our pancakes. Now I've got my griddle that I've already preheated to 350, and then I just simply take some of the pancake batter, put it on the griddle. And a frying pan will work, but truthfully, once you've had a griddle, you'll never go back to using a frying pan because you've got so much more space on the griddle than what you're going to have with the frying pan. And you also just have the convenience of using the griddle for all kinds of preparation. So it's a wonderful thing to get. It's a great investment for your kitchen because it's a controlled large surface. Whereas if you're using a frying pan, some portions of the frying pan may be hotter than others and you get an uneven cooking. What we're looking for on the pancakes is that we'll start seeing bubbles come on out. And as the bubbles start coming on up to the surface, it will give us the indication of when it's ready to be flipped over. And we're starting to see some bubbles starting to pop here and there on the pancakes. And it's a matter of your personal preference in terms of how light or how dark you like them. But what you're also doing is caramelizing the sugars. So what that means is that you're getting that nice browning effect from the sugars that we've made into the recipe. See, it's a little bit lighter than what it should be, so we'll give this another smidge more. And they rise up. It's a real easy thing to make. I suggest having this with one of our favorite things, which we call cracked bacon. And it's called that because you can't eat just one piece. You end up eating way too much of it because it combines something that's not good in our American diet, which is fat, sugar, and lots of grease. And it's altogether tasty. And the way you make it, take a regular, fairly thin strip of bacon and cut the bacon strips in half. Make a mix of brown sugar, Dijon mustard, maybe a little bit of maple syrup, and put it into a bag and smudge it all together. And then you put the bacon into the bag as well and smudge the bacon with the other products. And then you have to lie it out on a pan that has a rack on it. And consequently, while the drippings will come off, it takes longer to cook than regular bacon. Be careful, when it starts to cook quickly, it will burn fairly fast. But it will give you this delicious mix of the sugar, the spiciness, the fat, the everything that bacon and that has been sugared will have. Now at this point, these guys should be ready. So if you check the other side, you want them thoroughly browned, and we're there. Now what we personally like to do is throw in some blueberries with this to make blueberry pancakes, but that's personal taste. And there you have dinner, or breakfast, or whatever it is that you're going to have. We're done. Thank you.